Good morning, and my bangs are a little wild this morning, and I know I wear this shirt in all my recent videos, but that is kind of what pregnancy does for me, is I find my favorite 2 or 3 outfits, and that is what I choose. And today we got up and at 'em, and it's Monday. We started some laundry. We had my 4-year-old's birthday at the house this weekend, and we had about 25 people here. And my parents stayed, and my brother was in town, so we had a huge festive party. It's really fun. A bunch of the kids were playing in the water, and it was nice and hot, but not too crazy. So that was nice. And we're recovering today. It's Monday. We're doing a bunch of laundry, sheets, towels, clothes, residual things, and just kind of cleaning up the house. We're gonna kind of hang low, and I have a bunch of things on the computer I kind of have to do and get organized, and eat all our leftovers, make some freezer meals. These are the kinds of things we're going to get up to today. One update pregnancy-wise, I guess I'm about 19 weeks now, so about halfway. I'd say it started about 3 weeks ago, but last week is when I really, I guess, came to reality with it, was the PUPPS rash. I made a previous video in my first pregnancy with my son about this, and it's terrible. It's normally something that comes on the last month of, or at least in the 3rd trimester, and then a lot of times it explodes all over the body except the face after the baby is born, or it depends on each person, but that was my situation. It's terrible. It's one of the itchiest things, and if you itch it, it gets worse and it scars, and it's just terrible. But it took me I had it the whole last month of my pregnancy without knowing, and then in the first, I'd say 2 weeks of having him, I had it, and I used the Grandpa's Pine Tar soap, and that stuff really worked for me that time. So this time, at least when I accepted what it was, once I saw it growing on my stomach and my back, I knew that that was what I needed to get in order to try and cure it. I didn't know, sometimes it can be diet related, I've been told, through the liver. So I tried to eat less processed foods because I was eating not very well this pregnancy and my first pregnancy. Even though my second pregnancy with my daughter, I ate perfectly, and I did not have it. And it's also associated with boys, which we don't know what this baby is, but now I'm leaning towards boy with this. Thankfully, I'm kind of on the cured side. It's definitely dried out from using the soap. I was doing cold showers 3 to 4 times a day when it was at its worst a few days ago, and within 2 to 3 days of doing that, I'm down to 1 shower a day, and it's not itching at all during the day. Doesn't look great. I will show you because it is informative, but it definitely looks better than it did. And it has, the spots where I itched are the spots that look the worst, so lesson learned on that. But I am down to no caffeine, and I have been for about 2 weeks. I'm drinking dandelion root tea, which is also supposed to help with that. Unrelated. But I drink this over ice with milk every morning. So one topic I wanted to talk about in this video was the idea of toxic minimalism and just kind of what that means for me and my family. I think it's just a matter of when it becomes toxic, because there's always points of toxicity that I find myself reflecting on if it's the right choice for me. And a lot of times those points are when you feel compelled to be decluttering. So I think minimalism becomes toxic when it becomes all consuming of your life, or decluttering is no longer a breath of fresh air. It feels like a chore. Actually, I would take that back, because it definitely feels like a chore at some point, but it's a chore that needs to be done. So I'd say it's definitely when it becomes not fun anymore, though, because there is a resistance in, I think, minimalism when people first go into it, because it's so different and such a change. But then as you go into it, it feels good and you realize it's the right thing for you, if it is. But once you're pushing that further and it doesn't feel that way anymore, I think it can start to get toxic and people need to take a step back. When I'm saying that, I'm just kind of speaking for myself and my personal experience. But I do think that there is a level where it becomes a problem. And I think that's just all consuming of thoughts. And when you look around and you're looking like, can I get rid of that? Should I get rid of that? That's when it's gone too far. Like, the things around you should enjoy. That's why they're there. And I know it's hard to believe that we're minimalists when this shot looks like there's so much stuff in the background, but this is kind of our playroom area. And we have a pretty minimalist toy collection. I think I've shown that in a previous video, but overall, right now I feel like we have a pretty good relationship with minimalism. We don't bring in too many things into the home, and we do still declutter on a regular basis. I'm trying to make it less frequently and more things, but I still have kind of like a declutter pile that I keep things that if I see something, I'll add to the pile if it needs to be there and take it out on the next trip we go to declutter things. But other than that, I feel like we've made peace. We've gone from all ends of the spectrum with it, but we've definitely made peace with where we're at for now.